So today we will be doing the Java tutorial for conditionals. As you can see, I have written some notes which we will revise before starting this. So the conditionals which we are using are first of the type if else. Now what happens is that there is a syntax. We type the if keyword which is reserved in Java language. In brackets we write a particular condition which can evaluate to true result or a false result. And then we put the if block. So the starting of the block is denoted by this curly braces, opening curly braces, and closing of the block is denoted by closing curly braces. These blocks are basically a set of statements which belong to a particular keyword. For example, there will be an if, then space, condition in brackets, space, then the starting block, and then they will be starting the statements. So the statements in the if block will be executed if the condition after the if keyword evaluates to true. We can also add an else block after the if block to specify the statements that will be executed if the condition after the if keyword evaluates to false. We can also make it a nested loop, like you can first type in condition of if, then you can write else if condition, and then so on, and finally else. The else and the else if blocks are optional. You may want to use or you may not implement them. Then the second type is the switch constructor. So basically you place this switch keyword, you write switch space, then you write a particular variable name or anything that returns a particular value. Now the switch will take the value from this expression or variable you specify here, and under the switch block you have to write particular cases. For cases like case, then we write a particular value, then we will place a semicolon, then we will write statements under this block of case. So case, we will design many cases in the switch block. Then there will be a syntax of case, there will be a particular value, there will be a colon, then there will be statements under it, and then there will be another case space, then a particular value. So what happens is basically switch evaluates a particular expression or variable, takes its value, and then checks whether it is equal to a particular value of the case. So for example, if we switch n and then we write case 1, and if n is equal to 1, then the statements under the block of case 1 will be evaluated. There is also a default block which is optional, which can use if none of the cases are matched. Similarly, you need to specify a break keyword at the end of each case to ensure that the flow is broken and the execution of code goes outside the switch. Then we have a ternary operator. So we write any variable name is equal to condition in brackets, then a question mark. This is a ternary operator. Then we will write the value to be assigned to this variable name. If this condition evaluates is true, then colon, and the value to be assigned if this condition is false. So now I am taking the examples to better illustrate the use of this conditionals in Java. First, I would like to put here the analyze so that I can actually execute this block. Then let me give it some marks like 76. Now let me start this. So as you all know, system.out.println is used to print output in Java. So I write here some value. So basically we take int that is marks from this analyze function, and function will learn more about in the methods tutorial. So now we compare that if the given marks that we are passing dynamically is greater than good. So what is this variable name good? Basically this variable good is an integer variable carrying the value of 80. So when I am writing analyze 80, it will compare whether 80 is greater than 80. Now for these type of situations, you can also use the greater than equal to operator to compare. So it will evaluate the condition. If it is true, it should return student has good marks. If it will compare, if this condition is not satisfied, if marks are greater than the passing, that's the 40 marks, it should print or return student has passing marks, and if nothing matches, should return student is failed. For 80 that you are passing into these if conditionals, let's see what's the output. Say student has good marks. So this is how you use the if statement. Now if I write 55 here, so this if should not be evaluated, rather this else if block should be evaluated. Let's see what happens. For 55, student has passing marks, and the else block is evaluated if none of these conditions are met. So here we go, the else block has executed. Now we can also use nested if, like we can use if under if. So first it will check the if the first condition is true, then it will return to the inner block. But if the first condition is not true, that is the outer block is not, the condition of the outer if block is not being satisfied, then this whole block will be skipped. But this is about nested if. Then we have the switch parameter. So now I am using the switch to demonstrate it to you. So my switch statement checks for particular point that are 90 and 40. So if the marks are equal to 90, then case 90 block will be executed. So it should print out marks are 90 and should break. Simulate 40 should print marks of 40, and in the default, if none of these cases, that is if the value of marks is neither 19 or 14, then it is marks are neither 40 or 90. So let's check it out. So I'm passing 90. Hey, there is an error. Can you spot the error? Yeah, sure. It is basically I missed a semicolon at the last, because each JavaScript statement should end with a semicolon. So I have marks are 90. So this case is successfully executed. This case is successfully executed. Now this case will be executed when the marks is equal to 40 and should print marks of 40. So you can basically specify different values which should be equal to the given variable in switch or expression switch, and it will execute the statements accordingly. So like if I write 40 here, the marks are 40, and for any other value, whatever the value be, marks are neither 40 nor 90. So this is basically about the switch statement. Now the ternary operator, you can also use the ternary operator. So I'm just rewriting the flow of execution ternary operator by specifying a method. It will point till here, and now let's see what happens. So I wrote that first the string is sparse should be equal to, then there is a condition whether got is greater than int2, and if it is true, it should evaluate to the statement before the colon, and if it is false, it will be evaluated to the value after the colon. So isParse will become yes if this statement is true, and isParse will become no if this evaluates to false. First condition is true, as you can see it is obviously that 9 is greater than 4. So isParse should be first assigned yes, and it is first printing yes in the output here. Then after a new line it is printing no, because I have now reversed the ternary operator, and since this condition is true, so before semicolon I have placed no and evaluating to no. This was all about Java conditionals. Now we will learn more about Java and further Android programming in subsequent tutorials and videos.